pouring gasoline on the front porch, windows, and bushes around the house in Atlanta, Georgia. Two tourists from Utah who were viewing the house managed to stop the woman, and two off-duty New York police officers who were visiting the historical landmark detained her until Atlanta police officers arrived. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Temperatures getting low but demand remaining high? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers sent a commanding message to the NBA. They are serious about this in-season tournament. The Lakers blasted New Orleans by 44 points in the semifinals last night in Vegas. They will play the Indiana Pacers Saturday at 5:30 for the championship. A marvelous game for LeBron. 30 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds in just 23 minutes. He sat out the entire fourth quarter. The Lakers are 7-3 in their last 10 games and have moved up to 4th in the Western Conference standings. There are strong indications that Bronny James will make his USC debut on Sunday against Long Beach State. LeBron's son participated in his first full contact practice with the team on Thursday. He'll go through another one today and get reevaluated one more time. Barring any setbacks, Bronny will see some minutes on Sunday. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
In association with KBLA Talk 1580, the Terry Claiborne Foundation presents its 26th annual holiday party, Saturday, December 9th, featuring live entertainment, celebrity appearances, plus food and drinks. There is a cover charge for this party of the season, but not if you're one of our special guests. All you have to do is go to our website at KBLA1580.com and sign up. That's it, that's all. Just sign up at KBLA1580.com and you could win entrance to the soiree of the season. But whether you win or not, get a ticket, support the kids, and come join us on the red carpet in your semi-formal club attire and celebrate the season with KBLA Talk 1580 and the Terry Claiborne Foundation as we collect toys for the youth in our community. That's Saturday, December 9th, 1110 South La Cienega Boulevard, just south of Olympic. It's a holiday party with a purpose.
I'm Terry Claiborne. It's going to be a party. Come hang out with us.
Environmental justice, pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, Black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any Black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. More la la. Yeah, yeah. Better have my money. Y'all should know me well enough. Better have my money. Please don't call me on my blood. Pay me what you wanted. Ballin' bigger than LeBron. Give me your money. Who y'all think y'all frontin' on? Like blah, blah, blah. Louis 13 and it's all on me. Thinking you just bought a shot.
KBLA Talk 1580. So let's talk about it. It's, It's a Freeman Friday, and we have a guest every week here on Friday to really get an understanding of what reparations means, where are we going with this, what is being done, and how we can be as well informed as possible to move the ball, to move the conversation. So, talking with Reginald Jones Sawyer, the assembly member who was a member of the task force, and we also earlier this month we talked with attorney Camila Moore. It shows you the range of opinions and approaches that were contained within the California Reparations Task Force. To me, that makes the achievement of this 1,200-page report even more impressive, because you have all of these different viewpoints, takes, and understandings of what reparation is meant to be and how it manifests and how we move forward. And they were able to coalesce around this 1,200-page report, and how they have a comprehensive document now, which can be used as a blueprint. Even as we see, and I spoke on this yesterday, the varying levels of success with local reparations initiatives, i.e. the San Francisco Reparations Office, which was meant to open next year, has been cut from the budget by San Francisco Mayor London Breed. She says she has a different initiative that's accomplishing the same thing. But the Reparations Task Force of the city of San Francisco is continuing to do their work, even under that dichotomy of having the office removed. In several states, Texas is one of them, they are enacting preemptive laws to stop reparations, or to punish states, cities, counties that enact reparations should they move forward with policies, payments, etc. In Evanston, there's been some controversy about how those dollars are being distributed, because they are specifically focused on housing. So either you have to be trying to buy a home, or you have to prove discrimination and harm in getting into an apartment, and those funds can be paid out that way. Of course, there's going to be different approaches. There's going to be controversy. But to me, the fact that we are moving forward and continuing to have these small victories, continuing to work on reparations on every level, it does create momentum. It reminds me of, and I bring this up often because I think it's important, whether you're talking about cannabis or reparations. Look at marriage equality. It went state by state by state. And as more and more states ratified marriage equality for their own statewide policy, eventually it becomes the law of the land. I believe that's what's happening now with cannabis, although obviously we're not there yet. And I am a proponent of it. Being decriminalized, being legalized, obviously not for children. But with reparations, I think it's the same thing. And one of the reasons I wanted to even have this conversation is because when I would talk with Dick Gregory about this, and we talked about it many, many times on my show Front Page and on my show Street Science, going back to the 1990s, he would say it was going to take 50 years. We may be ahead of that timeline, but he would say we have to normalize it. And how do we do that? We do that through conversation. Let's go to Link, calling us from LA. Good morning.
Dominique.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm steaming right now. Just a little steam on my shoulders. Look, Dominique, you would agree with me that the opposite of good is evil?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty basic.
Okay, and if we don't know our history, we could repeat the same issue. These people don't care about us. They're threatening us. They are threatening us right now. When I say these people, I'm just going to keep it generic on the line. But they're trying to burn down Martin's house, and we're asking them for our due reparations, they're not going to give us anything. They are threatening us, and they're doing it publicly. And all we seem to do is, ask for things. Can we have this? We deserve that. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, we can do both. Yeah, we can do both, but they hate us.
You've been listening to
They
me
hate us,
long
Dominique.
enough.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, and is the they white supremacist? Is the they, who is they?
Whoever fits that size 15, wear it. Okay? and I don't know too much about Brother Reggie and these politicians. Look what's going on with Clarence Thomas. They're paying people off the whole system. That 1% that has all that wealth, and people are struggling. We're sending money everywhere, and there are people living on the streets, people pop-locking in intersections with blankets on. Come on. We got to wake up. We got to wake up as a people. And I'm going to tell you right now, and I have a solution. And it's the oldest solution, and Martin was doing. We got to boycott. We got to control our dollars. That's all they respect. They don't respect anything else. They respect that money that they get out of our people.
How do you boycott your way to reparations, though?
Oh, I tell you what. What you do, it could be simple. It could start in a church. It could just be whatever they do when they kill one of our kids or one of our neighbors' kids or somebody that we don't even know that we hear about. We stop spending money or contributing to any of these companies that support such. We have to control our money and where it goes. And once we control our dollars, then our faith will be all these other communities. Look at the Koreans. Look at everywhere, even the Ethiopians. Everybody have they have their unity. And it seems like we're the only ones still.
Well, I don't know about that, Link. I think our disunity is more public. That's what I think. I have enough friends and colleagues in Latina and Asian communities that I'm privy to their disunity as well. They just don't put it all on Instagram the way we do. That's what I think. I think they have their challenges. But to your point, boycott, I believe, is underutilized. You know what I mean? People dismiss it. I think, you can, and I am going to say that. You're right. We can vote and boycott. We can march and boycott. We can legislate and boycott. But I believe that the boycott is underutilized, especially in the modern era of civil rights.
I agree. I concur. Listen, this is the other thing. Whoever gets the 10th district with the Olympics coming, this is a power position. This is going to be, and I like what Heather has done so far.
But for people in other states, the 10th district is a very mixed district, but it has traditionally had a black lawmaker leading it, and that might not happen this time because we've got everybody and their mama running, including Reginald Jones Sawyer, the assembly member who was just on this show, but also we have a very prominent Korean American attorney running, and a bunch of black candidates who could definitely split the vote there.
Yeah, and that just your description of the Korean attorney. Why does he want to be a politician now?
It's a woman, Grace. Grace Yu. She's a woman, but she gave Mark Ridley Thomas a run for his money. She is an activist and an attorney, and I think a formidable opponent for anybody. Not saying that she's automatically terrible because she's Korean, but if you're concerned about black political power, building power, having 300 people running for one seat from the black community, facing off against one powerful Latino and one powerful Korean, guess who may not end up in the runoff?
Process of elimination. I want to end by saying this. Black people, brown people, when we see each other, we're not all up to something. We're all, give a head nod. Just give a head nod.
We're not all up to something.
Yeah, we're all thinking the same thing, and that's part of the man system. That's part of the man system, and these younger folks, reach out to these younger folks, like I say all the time. They just need our guidance, and just speak to them with respect, and don't be condescending. Just try to love them, and maybe they'll love you back. I appreciate you. Have a great weekend, my sister.
All right. Thanks for the energy. Thanks for the love. A link called 800-920-1580. That's my number. 800-920-1580. You got something to say about reparations and the many, many, many topics which all are permeating out of this idea of race, culture, ethnicity, right? Nationality and power. Call me, 800-920-1580. KBLA Talk 1580, 40 acres and a mic.
We hope you have a safe and relaxing holiday season.
Mask up and stay safe.
At KBLA Talk 1580,
we've got a lot to talk about.
and your voice is critical to all the conversation. Happy holidays.
Every child deserves the best teachers, facilities, and academic programs to set them up for success. At Milton Hershey School in Hershey, Pennsylvania, we make that a reality for children from qualifying families who are looking for greater opportunities. Milton Hershey School enrolls students from pre-K through 12th grade from across the United States to live and learn on a beautiful state-of-the-art campus with all costs covered. Are you looking to set your child up for success or know a child who could benefit from Milton Hershey School? Learn more at mhskids.org/admissions.
They are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
King C. Gillette knows you're dedicated to your barbershop routine. But what about after? What's your routine for facial hair to avoid dry skin, itching, and beard rough? Well, the King C. Gillette Beard Oil is a perfect fit for making your beard feel as good as it looks. It softens your facial hair and moisturizes to help prevent itch due to dry skin. Get facial hair that feels as good as it looks. Just trim, wash, and soften. With King C. Gillette.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Did you know that every year, public school teachers spend nearly $500 of their own money for student supplies? At Donors Choose, we want students and teachers to have the tools they need for a great education. And now, more than ever, they need your help. Go to donorschoose.org and choose from teachers' requests that support reading, math, science, music, and more. Learn more at donorschoose.org.
Donors Choose. Support a classroom. Build a future.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
800-920-1580 if you want to get in on the conversation. And, you know, I understand what Ms. Seck is saying in the chat, that this is an uphill battle, that all hands have to be on deck, and divisions are counterproductive, and I get that, but I think that the solution to that is not gloss over it and pretend that we all are on the same page. The solution is to unpack this and see why we have these differences and try to find common ground or eliminate things that don't serve us, right? You have camps in the reparations movement, and what I've learned, well, I already knew it. I knew it a long time ago. I definitely got the message when I posted a video about reparations, and the Tariq Nasheed crowd came for me, the so-called FBAs, that people can be, you know, hardcore. That's what Reggie Jones Sawyer was referring to. People get into name calling. They get into some kind of camps, and we can pretend that that doesn't exist, or we can say, well, those people are all stupid, or they're all right-wing tools. Certainly that's a tendency I have sometimes. When people say something that seems ridiculous to me, or it seems like it is serving the agenda of someone who is not with Black Americans or Black people globally or anywhere, or with progressives in terms of their policies, in terms of what their work does, you know, how it impacts the world. But I believe that this is a heavy lift. The idea of reparations is a heavy lift. But this is the closest we've come. And this is a crossroads moment. It's a flashpoint. We've got to be able to work through our division. We have to, and to me, the way to do that is to understand the different positions. I think there are people that are, probably agent provocateurs. I think there probably are people who are right-wing tools or tools of some other agenda that are in the reparations space. There are definitely opportunists that just want to try to be famous or make a name for themselves. I had someone on Twitter accusing me of trying to get more views. Well, yeah, everything I do is trying to get more views. We're a radio station. It's a business. It's not a nonprofit. It's not a nursery school. The more people that listen, the better. But that's everything I do. That's not just reparations. It doesn't change the content of what I say. My political outlook, my analysis is based on what I think is best for humankind, for the greater good, and specifically for Black people and progressives. That lucky for the world ends up being what's best for the world. I think we see that. I think it's consistently true that when the conditions of Black people improve, it does seem to help everyone else. And there was an agree and a disagree moment with Assembly Member Joan Sawyer, because he expressed a concern that if we somehow gave preference to Black Americans, that there could be stratification within Black people and a special moneyed class of Black descendants of enslaved people, if I'm summarizing correctly. And I don't have a problem with that. I would like everyone to have nice things. I don't think that it's wrong to aspire for gains, in terms of financial gains or building generational wealth. The problem comes when people hoard. The problem comes when the inequality becomes too great, like what we have in America right now. The gap between rich and poor is too wide. I think that we, if somehow the reparations movement, the payouts, the changes in policy, the dismantling of systematized bias in institutions like banks, schools, all of our institutions of power, that is going to help everyone. It will help everyone. Black Americans being flush with cash helps everyone. To the example that Reginald Jones Sawyer gave, we are all going to be spending dollars. And as much as I would love us to recycle Black dollars, those dollars are going to go into the entire U.S. economy and stimulate it. So there's an agreement there, a disagreement there in terms of, unexpected advantages for Black Americans. To me, that is what we want. But when it comes to this idea of excluding Black folks who are deserving, I do have a concern here. And I think those are not easy answers. It's not just, we'll have an office of genealogy. How are we making sure that the unhoused descendant, if you want to call it a freedman, a Negro, descendant of Black Africans, an FBA, that they are receiving the repair as well? Obviously, legislative changes help everyone. I do think that one of the things we have to look at in terms of changing mindsets is the fear of a payment, the fear of a cash payment. Even though I know that reparations, and this is a talking point, reparations is about more than money. I know that. And when people say that, though, they usually mean they are trying to back away from a monetary output. And I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that. I think that cash payment should be part of reparations, whether it's on a state, a federal, a local, municipal level, whether it's coming from corporations or educational institutions, whether you're Georgetown or Geico, whether you're the state of California or the United States of America. All of those levels of payment should include monetary compensation. I love the ideas of, tax holidays, of education impacts. But I think Fahima said in the chat, education is a right. So it shouldn't be a reparation. But many times when you talk about repair, it's getting to the even playing field. It's building back Black to the point where we receive what others take for granted as a right, which we have been deprived of, which we have been denied, not just by individuals, but by institutions and the way they are set up. Let's go to Fred calling us from LA. Hi, Fred.
Yeah, hello, Dominique. Been listening to you for a long time, and we disagree on mostly everything.
All right, but you listen anyway. I love you for that, Fred.
Of course. Anyway, let's get to the point. Okay, and put a dollar amount on it. I've heard figures between $200,000, $250,000. The difference between black and white people. So let's put it at $200,000 to make it even. Now, to make it easy, does Michelle Obama or do these newly crowned billionaires, Michael Jordan and Beyonce, get reparations?
Yep.
They do.
Yeah, I think they do. Right. I don't know how you discriminate. Oh, well, you're rich. I think that we as black people make a peer pressure campaign for Beyonce's reparations to be donated, right, to a nonprofit.
Well, okay, I might go there, but that's a little different. I don't think they should get reparations. All right, now, how about the New York City heroin addict that can trace his lineage? He gets it.
Yeah, absolutely.
When he's found dead, hold on. And when he's found dead, $70,000 deep into his $200,000 on the streets of New York City on a heroin overdose, who's going to take responsibility? I mean,
well, who takes responsibility now, Fred? Who takes responsibility now?
But the government, the state of California, didn't give him the money. Is not giving him the money now.
But do you think? Well, we can argue that because is he on assistance? Is he? But the point is, if you owe me money, can you make the argument that you can't pay me back? You don't have to pay me back because I'm already rich. If you owe me money, do you get to make the argument that you don't have to pay me back because I'm a drug addict and I might kill myself and you don't want to be responsible for my death? You owe me money. Pay me what you...
and then hold on, and now what's going to happen to his $130,000 left? But no, let's keep going with this.
Well, what happens to it now, Fred? It goes to the state if he doesn't have a will.
Okay. Now, a lot of people really can tie their lineage back to slavery.
I'm one of them. Yep, me too, Fred.
Okay, hold on. So I know that. So we're not going to even argue about that. What about those who squander their money? I know people that would probably squander this in less than 2 years, and they're right back to square one. How have they been repaired? How does these reparations done them good and society any good? Society is supposed to propel them forward into a job like you or to a person like you or me.
Well, look, I think that's why Reginald Jones Sawyer was talking about financial literacy. But I just don't agree with the argument that don't give me what you owe me because I can't handle it. I mean, yeah, well, at least you had fun squandering it. You got what was yours. Hopefully, you know, that drug addict, that your example of the drug addict on the street won't die because now he has enough money to be in a hotel where there's somebody with Narcan that would save his life so he wouldn't die alone and broke on the streets. But we can't guarantee that. We're talking about adult humans. With agency.
Okay,
Fred, can you hold that thought? This is great conversation. I got to go to news, traffic, and sports right now. But it's a great day when I get to talk to someone who almost never agrees with me, but listens anyway. Fred from LA when we continue on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The Supreme Court is deciding whether to take up a legal fight over the drug most commonly used for medication abortion. This has to do with the FDA's process for approving drugs. Earlier this year, a Texas-based federal judge invalidated the original approval of the drug, which happened 2 decades ago. His ruling was then narrowed by an appeals court. If the Supreme Court justices decide not to intervene in the ongoing litigation, a ruling that limited the availability of the drug by mail would go into effect. In Alabama, disciplinary actions have been handed down by the city of Decatur for the 4 police officers who were involved in the shooting death of a black man back in September. At a news conference Thursday, Mayor Tab Bowling announced that 3 of the officers have been fired and a 4th suspended. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Temperatures getting low but demand remaining high? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers sent a commanding message to the NBA. They are serious about this in-season tournament. The Lakers blasted New Orleans by 44 points in the semifinals last night in Vegas. They will play the Indiana Pacers Saturday at 5:30 for the championship. A marvelous game for LeBron. 30 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds in just 23 minutes. He sat out the entire fourth quarter. The Lakers are 7-3 in their last 10 games and have moved up to 4th in the Western Conference standings. There are strong indications that Bronny James will make his USC debut on Sunday against Long Beach State. LeBron's son participated in his first full contact practice with the team on Thursday. He'll go through another one today and get reevaluated one more time. Barring any setbacks, Bronny will see some minutes on Sunday. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's the gift-giving season, and we have a gift for you. Visit us online at KBLA.store for holiday savings of 20% off all of our KBLA swag. For the best in merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store right now. And be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all our official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580, at 20% off, but only during the holiday season. Happy holidays.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Meet LA's most affordable health plan. This open enrollment season, LA Care Covered is proud to offer the lowest cost health plans in Los Angeles County, featuring zero cost preventive services to help you achieve your wellness goals. Be part of the region's largest HMO network, featuring UCLA Health, Optum, and allied physicians without breaking the bank. We are here to help. Call us at 855-222-4239 for enrollment assistance. That's 855-222-4239. LA Care Covered. Your wellness, our mission.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the exclusive media sponsor of This Light of Ours, activist photographers of the Civil Rights Movement. A dynamic new exhibition on view now at the Skirball Cultural Center in Los Angeles. This Light of Ours showcases more than 150 photos taken by movement insiders from diverse backgrounds that reveal the vital work undertaken by a broad coalition of organizers and everyday people whose collective action changed America. This Light of Ours is one of 3 temporary exhibitions currently on view at the Skirball, which together explore issues related to civil rights, immigration, and pluralism. Tickets and more information for all 3 exhibitions are available at skirball.org. That's skirball.org. SKIRBALL.org.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Fred called me at 800-920-1580, and you can do the same on this Freedman Friday. Fred, saying he rarely agrees with me and challenging me on some of the concepts around reparations. One of the things Fred brought up is, does Beyonce get reparations? Do rich Black Americans get them? Does the junkie on the street get them? And then are we responsible for that person dying if they overdose from squandering their money on drugs? And Fred, I know you had a series of other questions. Before we move to those, I wanted to ask you one. Are you against reparations as a concept?
No, actually, should have been done a long time ago.
Okay.
But this problem of cash reparations is the problem. So can I make the last 2 points,
No,
please?
of course you can, but let me just ask you one more question before we go to that. So are you saying you're against cash reparations of any kind?
Yes.
Ah, okay. So what form do you think it ought to take then?
Education.
Like as in free education?
Work at people that in the college, junior college, and up the ladder, education.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think of both but my dad said Mary Baraka said when he talked about education as a form of reparations that it should include housing, books, right? And a stipend, right? So that it's a truly level playing field because you're competing at colleges against middle class and wealthy students who have their parents paying for everything, whereas most black students are lucky if they can even get their tuition covered.
Well, yeah, but if you get there, if the tuition is free, the student has to have some type of incentive to get there. I mean, what's wrong with working the soda fountain counter, working the counter at McDonald's to buy your books and things like that?
I mean, I did the same, Fred.
I
did the same, Fred. But if we're talking about repair, we're talking about things to put people on par with the norm, to be made whole. And so what if we didn't have to do that? What if we got to go to college the way middle class and wealthy kids go to college and be supported?
Those people are paying for their children to go to
college.
Right,
exactly.
You're mixing apples and oranges.
No, I'm not. If my family had the 12 generations of wealth that we should have had from unpaid slave labor, we would also be able to pay for our children to go to college.
But that's not true with most or all white people. They work a regular job just like I did for 31 years and put their children through college. And I've seen it done many, many times.
Yeah, I mean, of course it happens. There's a working class. Of course, there's a white working class. I'm not denying that. But I don't see why is it a problem to have – you don't want anything monetary at all, not even like we'll buy your books. You just want tuition. Wow. Okay, that's so limited. So, Fred, what were your other two questions? I don't want to railroad you here.
Yeah. Okay, there are many people, and I'm not degrading. I came from this type of a background. You have women. You take a woman that's on public assistance, we'll call it. I grew up on public assistance. She has 5 children, 5 minor children. She gets her $200,000. Does the 5 children get theirs in a trust, or does she have access to that? Does her public assistance stop? Is it prorated along the way and she squanders that? Because
I think the public assistance would stop. You're not allowed to save, and can't even save for a car with our stupid welfare system. So I'm sure that if you get a reparation check, you would not qualify unless they made some kind of legal exception, which hasn't happened that I know of yet. As far as those children,
well, I may as well party to have a good time and spend it on the 6 months and go back on public assistance. And the last one, Dominique,
if she does that, that's her life. But I think it should go. I think it's a good point, Fred, about the trust fund. I think it should go to a trust fund because there are people who are unscrupulous enough to ruin their children's credit before their children are even old enough to have a credit card. So I think that's a good point. Okay, go ahead.
What about the people that have outstanding debt? It could be divorce, could be child support, it could be just general civil debt. Is there going to be first call on that money? So it's just a windfall for those people, or you see, those are things that you have to look into when you start doling out cash like that.
Doling it out, but it's not a dole; it's a debt. It's really different. There's a big difference between a dole and if Special Field Order 15 said we were to get 40 acres and a mule and you ain't paid it, that is a debt.
But those people are dead.
So then you know what? According to your formula, none of these rich people would be rich because their parents are dead too. So all their money should go to the state. Inheritance is a thing in this country. 60% of all wealth in this country is inherited, and we're not on the receiving end of that.
Dominique, I heard you the other day. I'm glad you brought that up. Now back to Michael Jordan and Beyonce. Now that they've made the Billionaires Club, why do you want to take their money? Why can't they pass it along just like the white people?
I think they can pass it along, but I think it should be taxed, just like all income, especially income that is above the $1 billion mark because they use a bigger percentage of the commons and because they should be contributing to the common good. Yeah, when I get to be a billionaire, if I ever do, which the way I talk probably may never happen, look, I am happy to pay my fair share of taxes. And I don't know why people get into this hoarder mentality. It's like the richer they get, the less they want to do their part. The more they can afford to do their part, the less they want to do their part. Fred, how do you not see an irony between you feeling like it's a problem for educational reparations to include paying for people's books, but being fine with billionaires not having to pay taxes? Like,
Billionaires
you don't see
tax.
many do not.
No, Dominique, that's how they got there. They were taxed. I'm a very wealthy
wrong.
person. They got taxed along the way. That's how they got there.
Some of them did, some of them didn't. There's a comprehensive ProPublica report on this, which you can look up online, in which it is proven that Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Warren Buffett have all had one or several years which they paid nothing on their billions. So yes, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Depends on their accountants. But it's ironic that you don't want to give out what you're calling a dole to the people that need it, whose families work 12 generations without pay, but you have no problem with letting billionaires slide by without paying inheritance tax. You don't see the irony in that?
No, they earn their money.
So I earned mine too. And why do I pay a higher tax rate than Elon Musk?
You're mixing apples and oranges.
Nope.
Whatever amount of money
I'm
you
mixing
have,
justice and justice.
Hold on, Dominique. If you really want to venture out, whatever money you have, you can take it and throw it into the stock market or any type of investment you like and play the capital gains role. But one day
now you're mixing apples and oranges. I'm talking about paying taxes on income. And now we're playing footsies with what income even means. So the type of income that the very rich make won't be counted, and the type of income that the working class make continues to be taxed at steady levels. That's not apples and oranges. That's the trickeration of the very rich being able to play games because they have the accountants and the lawyers to do it so that they pay. Even Warren Buffett said his own secretary pays a higher tax rate than he does as one of America's leading billionaires. It doesn't make any sense. It is not a dole. It is a debt.
You want to change the capital gains rate and change it equal to the payroll deduction rate as so that's
maybe not equal. We have to. We have to look at how the policy plays out. But yeah, we should change capital gains, and yeah, we should change. We should change the inheritance tax so people are paying their fair share. But we veered over into another conversation, although it is related, Fred. And I think you're right. There's a lot of things that we have to work out. There's a lot of unintended consequences. There's a lot of areas of concern. But what are you saying? Don't give Beyonce her reparations?
No, she doesn't need it.
But so what? That is not how you determine whether or not a debt is paid. And then who decides? What person is too much of a drug addict to get reparations, or what person is already too rich?
Well, no.
Who makes that decision?
Your ideal of reparations is anybody that can tie their linkage to emancipation.
Anybody
many
who's
people
owed
can do it.
Anybody who's owed money because of the harm of the enslavement and subsequent Jim Crow era on Black people in this country is owed a debt. That debt is to be paid by whoever is the holder of that debt, which could be the feds, it could be the state, it could be the city, it could be private corporations, it could be educational and financial institutions. Go ahead, Fred.
Dominique, the harm was put on my great-grandmother. She passed in 1940.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the people that put the harm on them passed in the last 100 years, too.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the direct harm on me?
Well, you didn't get the wealth that your grandmother would have had she been fairly compensated. Right, and why is that?
She didn't have anything.
She was lazy?
No.
She didn't work hard?
Why? She was born in 1850.
Mm-hmm.
And she was emancipated in 1865, and she died in 1940.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
The family didn't have anything.
Mm-hmm. But had the 11 generations of her family prior to her not had to work for free, she would have had something. That's the whole concept of reparations.
You want to put all of this on the taxpayers. You want to put another burden on the taxpayers.
It's not a burden. It's going to be a blessing.
Only the well-to-do are the taxpayers that can pay for this, or they can't pay for
I
this.
I pay for everything, and I'm not well-to-do yet, Fred. But I pay plenty taxes. The thing about it is, we're talking about generational wealth. We are talking about wealth that you would have inherited from your grandmother because she would have inherited it from her grandmother, and so on, because they would have been compensated for their labor. They would not have been locked out of resources. They would have had access to things like the GI Bill and other benefits that Americans had, and they would have had that retirement nest egg, as they call it, and that would have been passed down to you. Just like when we talk about the gap between white wealth and black wealth in this country, a lot of it has to do with that. We don't have anything to pass on because we have been locked out, because we have been forced to work without pay, because we are paid less when we do work, etc., etc. That is the harm that we are repairing, thus the name reparations.
Thank you for your time, Dominique. Bye.
Thank you, Fred. I hope you'll keep listening, even though you don't agree with hardly anything I say. Fred called me at 800-920-1580. You can do the same. We are hashing it out on this Freedman Friday, getting smarter about reparation, more well-informed, more united, by having a comprehensive conversation with all comers, regardless of your faction, your party, your politics. You are welcome here. We are KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
For some children, a single surgery can turn an untreated cleft into a smile for life. But at Smile Train, we understand that most children need a little extra care. They need medical, dental, and emotional resources to grow healthy and strong, to express themselves clearly, and to navigate all of life's challenges so that their smiles light up the room as brightly as possible. Visit smiletrain.org to learn how Smile Train is supporting the cleft community with lifelong smiles.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Now. We tend not to think about now. We dream about tomorrow, relive yesterday. But right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory. Learn more at v.org.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Hey, everything okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Honey. Hey, I'm here for you. Tell me about school today.
When kids can't find the right words, music can help them sound it out. Talk to the kids in your life about their emotional well-being. Find tools and resources at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? Didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, you know, you're talking about people have mentioned several people the fact that someone tried to burn down Martin Luther King Jr.'s home in Atlanta, his historical home, on last night. They have arrested a 26-year-old. They say they don't know the motive. It's a young black woman. And judging by the photo, to me, what I'm speculating right now, I always let you guys know, fact versus speculation. They have her picture, apparently. It looks like possibly mental health might have been an issue here. Some good Samaritans stopped her from doing so, and the house has not been burned down, but it was an attempted arson. Let's go to Randy from Watts on this Freedman Friday. Good morning, Randy.
Yes, it's a Freedman Friday, and I tell you, I had a brainstorm last night with the information that I come across. Remember I told you a little while ago that we found my great-great-great-grandfather's signature on a Freedman Bank in Mobile, Alabama. He was one of the freedmen that worked that plantation there for the Port Royal experiment, where they moved 90,000 pounds of cotton or something in 1 year, and they got paid $1 for every 400 pounds. Then that land was taken from us. It was given to us and then taken back from us. And my grandfather was born in 1871 in Fort Deposit, Alabama, and the story went down that we were in agriculture. Tuskegee, matter of fact. He had an opportunity to do the land rush in Oklahoma in 1910, and he was refused. And from that Freedman situation, the Secretary of Interior gave him a section of property, 180 acres, which is we have now. Not all of 180 of it, but we are on 150th and Luther Road. He wanted to put a general store there and was denied. This was in 1921. He ran a bus out of Oklahoma City hauling black children. I had seven uncles. Tried to farm, was refused. The war broke out. All seven of them went in the military. My dad comes out, a sergeant. He's refused to come into the Carpenters Union in 1947. Okay, he bought a truck, hauled rubbish out of this area here. I was born. We moved forward to me. I started a trucking company in 71. If you can see the documentary on that. Ran that for 55 years, and in the city of Los Angeles, just for the reasons of the equipment that we had was supposedly creating global warming. I'm kicked out. So there's 4 generations of our wealth taken away from us.
Okay, I want to hear the rest of this story when we come forward, Randy. And what is the solution? I mean, because it's reminding me of some of the work of Where Is My Land and others. We talk about reparation. There's also restitution, right? Repair can take a lot of forms. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
Here's to a holiday season full of peace, joy, and happiness. Happy Kwanzaa from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
Day 1, the hardest day. The day you hear,
this is a type of blood cancer.
But day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
To learn more and get help on day 2, day 28, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hello?
Man, where are you? I thought you were coming.
I can't. I'm in bed with the flu.
The flu? Whoa. Grandma's about to crowd surf. Man, I'll call you back.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is safe, effective, and you can get it at the same time as your COVID-19 vaccine. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Well, Randy, finishing out the week with me today on the phone. Randy from Watts really just shared with us the story of his journey of discovery about his family and their generational wealth, how it was impeded by the system 4 different times. And to me, that's one of the gifts of the reparations movement, regardless what faction you might be in or where your head might be at, is that we are being compelled to learn more about our ancestors, to dig in and understand the path of those that came before us. And that to me is part of the repair, cash or no cash, education or, credit or tax holidays, however these things show up, repairing the prison industrial complex. Hopefully we do that and more, and we change policies. But this is one thing I've talked to Japanese Americans, the discovery, the uncovering, not only in the pain and suffering, but also the achievement of our ancestors, the struggles of our people, and how we are the through line. We are the momentum, and we are taking that baton in the relay race of justice and running with it. So, Randy, handing the mic to you to land for us and share where you're going with this story of 4 separate incidents of your folks being blocked from, maximizing their wealth and opportunity.
Well, I was approached by an individual named Donna Jackson. She's one of the head leaders of a program on the East Coast called Project 21. Today, I'm supposed to have a conference call with her and her editor, and I don't know if it happens or not, but I'm to testify in reference to the House of Congress in reference to these items of this concept over and over, taking wealth from us. I mean, right about now, I look at, if we had, from what I can understand, it was like over 5,000 acres of the Druid plantation that we farmed there in 1884.
Okay, well, we just have a couple minutes here, Randy. I want to also suggest that you look at some other organizations, look at the Reparations Task Force, look at Where Is My Land. Project 21 is an intensely conservative group of Black Republicans. I'll be interested to see how that meeting goes. I hope you'll call me back, because their operatives are very vehemently opposed to reparations.
Okay, thank you, Dominique. I told you the smartest lady I know.
Thanks for saying that. But no, I mean, go have a meeting, hear what they're talking about, but just be aware that those folks are doing everything they can to undermine, and they're Black Republicans. They're not just random Republicans. They're Black Republicans working, and independents who are conservative working, among other things, to shut down the idea of reparations for Black Americans.
Well, I see you got to go. We got 4 minutes. I tell everybody here, we have to dig into your history, dig into your family, because other than that, the silence is going to end us up as an extinct process, and we'll be in the zoo within 50 years.
Oh, the zoo. Wow, that's grim. All right, Randy, well, call me next week. We'll keep the conversation going. I can't wait to hear about your meeting with Project 21. There's some of the folks that come on the Tuesday, Talking Point Tuesdays, that I argue with those folks. Anyway, I'm on social media all the time. KBLA 1580 is where you can reach out all weekend long. You can hit me up at DiPrima Radio, DiPrima, and then radio, DiPrima Radio. I always like to keep the conversation going throughout the weekend. The best of Tavis Smiley is up next. He's got some outrageously good moments from the week to share with you. I'm Dominique DiPrima. History is now, and we are making it together. Until Monday, one love.